नहीं खलनायक हूँ मैं, जुल्मी बड़ा दुखदायक हूँ मैं, है प्यार क्या मुझको क्या खबर, बस यार नफरत के लायक हूँ मैं, नायक नहीं खलनायक हूँ मैं।
A classic from Bollywood, right?
Yeah, I guess you'd call that Bollywood. That's true.
Yeah, Bombay's Hollywood. This is an Indian film soundtrack.
Yeah. Kal Nayak is the name of the film, and
I've never heard of it before.
well, it's real big over there. The tune I was going to close out with is so famous that I would kind of sing a little verse of it when I was over in India last year, and if I was shopping for stuff, and the guy was acting like mean to me, and I would like sing a little bit of the song, and all of a sudden they'd warm up. It's like, oh yeah, okay, we'll give you a deal on this thing.
It's like cool. Okay, he's a Westerner who knows our stuff.
Yeah.
Well, when you walked in this morning, you were so excited. This is the thing, you broke out of the bag first. You said, "Here, check this out."
Yeah.
And then you put on this one track, and I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking, "Hey, this sounds familiar."
You gotta love the echo.
Wow.
Lo and behold, reminds you of something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's a fan of Massive Attack would recognize that immediately as a riff that's part of Karma Coma that Tricky and Massive Attack put together. And there's another track on here, too, that samples...
That's right.
That Tricky samples for his Maxinquay album.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get to it at this point.
No, we will.
But obviously you found some of Tricky's tricks.
Well, two of them off of this album. That was kind of a surprise for me, because I love this album, and I got the Tricky, and I like the Tricky's album a lot. But it's like, someone said, "Wow, this is so familiar. This is incredibly familiar."
Yeah.
Sure enough, as I started A-Bing two tracks came off of the rhythm tracks from Kal Nayak. So
Kal Nayak, and people can find this in Indian soundtracks, and
it's hard to find.
This was stolen from you at one point.
Yeah. My brother met me here. I gave this to him for his birthday, and mine was stolen from my house, so he met me out front there and gave me his copy so I could bring it in here. And India Sweets and Spices sometimes carries this album.
And that's a shop.
Yeah, that's a restaurant and shop. It's kind of it's got great food, and it's also got the videos and CDs.
Some good music, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny Elfman is with us this hour. It's Morning Becomes Eclectic on KCRW. It's good to see you again. And
Thanks.
Since we've seen you last, you've been hard at work doing film scores galore, and you've been nominated for 2 Academy Awards. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means that people start doing what you just did a little while ago when you announced me as the 2-time Academy Award nominee. Now becomes the beginning of my name.
Yeah, that's true.
So that kind of concerns me a little bit. I think that if you win, it's kind of like becoming knighted in England.
Yeah.
Your name is never then spoken without Academy Award-winning director or composer, so-and-so.
Yeah.
And that's really worrisome. Sir is shorter.
We should come up with some sort of little abbreviated, morphism of Academy Award.
Yeah. Maybe we could think of one while we're here, like Academy Award winning. Well, let's see, but then there's always something else that follows it. Academy Award winning.
Yeah. Aw. A-W.
Academy Award nominated, or 7 times Academy Award nominated actor, 3 times Academy Award nominated actor, Al Pacino.
Well, we'll be
19 times Academy Award nominated actor.
We'll take suggestions if people come up with a way of shortening it, and you can call us here at the station.
No, I mean, that's, it was very it caught me off guard. Let me put it that way. I wasn't expecting it. So.
Well, I think the last time we talked, you were actually looking at moving into directing,
yeah.
and I don't know if it's still on your.
No, it still is.
agenda?
I had a script actually in and out of financing twice, and just when I was thought I was ready to go, it all fell through, which is the slippery side of international financing. It's interesting. Anyhow, I learned a lot, and then I kind of sunk back down and decided to. Well, I ended up becoming a film composer for 2 years solid. Really 96, 97. That's all I did. I don't even know why. I did 8 films in those 2 years. I've always done just 2 films a year and balanced it with Oingo Boingo. So that was kind of an interesting thing, but I decided I really like doing film composing half the year.
I see.
So now I got a deal at Disney to develop and produce and direct 2 scripts, hopefully. So I'm back to writing again. So I think that instead of Oingo Boingo now, I'll get back into writing and try to find that balance, because it's perfect when I have something else to do also, but it's really intense. I mean, film composing, it's a lot more pressure and a lot more intense than most people imagine, and it's easy to burn out, and rather than burn out, I'd like to try to diversify myself.
And pace yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, these 2 things you have in development over at Disney, can you talk a bit about them, or you want to leave that to...
Well, it's just like a brand new thing. I mean, they we're just starting now, and in fact, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be bringing in my first 3 or 4 ideas and deciding which script I'll start writing first.
Okay.
I mean, I can only tell you that it's all based on. Yeah, Gus is excited.
Yeah, you have your dog in the studio with us, a big old sheepdog.
Big old sheepdog.
Yeah.
Watch it. Don't use the F word. He'll bite you, man.
Okay, he's healthy looking.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
He's big.
He's big, yeah.
But it's my goal is mainly to kind of do kind of twisted horror stuff, but not slasher films. I'm kind of interested in trying to revive the ghost horror genre without special effects, if that makes any sense. Which is kind of a genre that doesn't quite exist very much right now, but I really love.
Can you think of a film that says that genre to you?
Well, I mean, a lot of films I grew up on, I thought I grew up around the block from the Toho La Brea Theater here in Los Angeles, and I used to see a lot of samurai ghost movies, and there were a couple that were awe-inspiring to me, really scary, creepy stuff. And one of the ghost stories that I've already written was actually inspired by a movie that I saw when I was a kid at Toho La Brea. But if you think of The Haunting, Hill House, Shirley Jackson novel that was turned into that wonderful thing. Not many people have seen The Innocents, was based on Henry James' Turn of the Screw.
Yeah,
real
a great one.
Spooky story, probably ready to be redone again. And of course, there's movies like The Shining, and even movies like The Exorcist. For really, although there was it was all in camera. There was no effects that I can think of that weren't done in camera, meaning done live in front of your camera on screen, and that kind of attitude I really like. And of course everybody loves Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite. But I think it's kind of taking that attitude in mind in terms of trying to move away from slasher films, which I grew up on and also love, but I just don't want to go into that genre. So I'd like to do a horror film that has no teenagers in any jeopardy and no effects that aren't in-camera effects that aren't done right there on the spot.
Well, it'd be interesting to see you as a director, what kind of music you pick for the film, because I'm just looking at what you brought in this morning for this hour. Well, it's all over the map. So let's head into this next one. This is actually Chinese cabaret, Chinese...
Yeah, I guess this would be 1920s Shanghai cabaret. It's another genre that I'm a big fan of. Indian movies and Chinese cabaret. So here it is.
Danny Elfman, our guest DJ this hour. It's Morning Becomes Eclectic.